Hey guys,
welcome to another episode of the Border Hookups.
Go RVing?
Go RVing!
Go RVing. Who are those people? So what is it like to be on the road full time? Well, that's a good question. It can be lonely, it can be exciting, it can be happy, it can be sad. You'll roll into a campground and you'll meet people from a distance and get to know them, and a lot of times they'll be leaving the next day. So you rolled in thinking, oh, I'll get to know all these people for 2 weeks because that's how long you're there because you're a full-time RVer. And a lot of the people that are there are not full-time RVers, and they're maybe there for 2 to 3 days and then they leave. So the world is sort of still going full speed past you, but your time as a full-timer is very slow. And so that's a really kind of a bittersweet thing, is that you meet the people, which is great, but then they're gone before you know it.
One of the hardest things about this lifestyle is the fact that you are not around your family if you're not full-timing with your children and everyone. So it's me and Dave, husband and wife, and I have 2 kids, Michaela and Marcus, and I don't get to see them when I'm out here. So that can be very difficult. You know, I miss them a lot, and sometimes I feel like I abandoned them, you know, because they can't come home to mom's house. They can't come home for a holiday. So, and honestly, they were our biggest supporters. They really wanted us to go ahead and get out here, and they know how happy it makes us to be here. A lot of FaceTiming, a lot of texting, and a lot of phone calls. We just find ways to stay connected.
When we first went on the road, we started by staying at a place that was my favorite place on earth, which is Star Lake Camp up in northern Minnesota. And we were staying there, and I actually went through feeling really guilty because we would be sitting there and I was bored. I was used to being there with people, and it made me realize that it's not really the place, it's the people. It's the community. And it made me feel very guilty because I should have felt ecstatic every day, but I didn't. And not to say that we didn't have an amazing time, but I struggled with that a little bit. That's one thing that I sought out on the road, was community.
One of my biggest fears with being on the road is that I will become complacent. So we've been full-timing for a little over 6 months, and we have seen so many amazing, amazing things. You know, mountains and valleys and gorges and just the desert. I had never been to the desert before. It's just been so incredible. It really has been. But there comes a time where, you know, you walk out of your door and you have this mountain outside of your door, and you're there every day for 2 weeks. And on about day 10, you stop seeing the mountain. And I don't want that. You know, I want to always be in that state of awe at what's around me. And so I don't know if that means shorter stays or if it just means reminding myself of what an amazing life this is, and just reminding myself to stop and smell the roses. I wonder how it gets over years of full timing. I don't ever want to stop seeing the mountains, and I'm going to make sure that that doesn't happen.
One of the first things that we ran into as full-timers was getting out of vacation mode. You get on the road and you're going from one place to the next place to the next place to the next place to see the next thing. It's like being at Disney World as a kid, and you get off the ride and you run to the next ride, and then you run to the next ride because you're trying to get as much in as you can possibly get in before you have to go home. Well, being full-time, you never go home. You're always home. So you start to stay at places longer. I can go about 2 weeks max before I start to get itchy feet and I want to get back on the road. One thing that we found when we started hanging out with other full-timers is they sort of sink into the life of, we're staying here for a while. So they can stay at places for months and be okay with that because it's just their neighborhood. Now after that, I don't know how they feel. I don't know how I would feel after months. But again, it just slows down. So you don't feel that constant eagerness to get to the next place. One thing that we struggle with is that we have to put out video content like this. If we stay in the same place for months, we would have a hard time being able to shoot video. So we kind of have to keep moving. But that brings me to the point of a lot of full-timers do move around. So if somebody came into the camp right now where we're staying and they said, hey, we're planning to go to Quartzsite for a week. Does anybody want to go? And some people might say, you know what, that sounds like fun. We'll go along with that. And so you take off to another place for a week with a little caravan of people, and then maybe you come back here, maybe you go there. So that's a really cool thing about being on the road with other full-timers, because 9 times out of 10, if not more, everybody's on the same page and everybody has that cool on-the-road respect.
We're full-time RVers and we still work. We need to work. We need to make money. We can't be out here living this life without it. And having a job and being on the road has been a blessing and a curse, I guess. It has been amazing. I'm a health coach and I absolutely love what I do. I help people to lose weight. I help people to get healthy, body and mind. And it is so rewarding. I stay connected to people. I get to help them and see how excited they are and happy they are. I get a lot of gratitude from people, and it just gives me real purpose to do that. And I love it so much that sometimes I can't stop focusing on it, and I'm spending all my time, I'm making myself available all of the time so that I can be really good at what I do. And then I don't set times to be able to enjoy this life. I mean, we're out here on the road. There's so much to see and so much to do, and that's part of the reason why we wanted to be out here. And here I am, you know, just focused on work. So it's amazing that I've found this career and it holds so much purpose for me, but it's also difficult because I also want to enjoy what we're doing. So I have to be better at, I guess, scheduling my time. But it's really nice to have a flexible schedule, and I don't know what I would do without having my job. And I know there are a lot of people that are out here living the lifestyle on the road and they're retired, and they find purpose, you know, somewhere in what they do, and or they just enjoy being retired. But right now, I just love working. I love that I have a job. I love working, but I want to make better use of my time because I also love exploring and being out there.
What is it like living in a camper with your spouse full-time? Well, it's very different in that you don't leave for the weekend or a week and then you come back to the house and you go back to what it was before you left. Living on the road full-time with your spouse is you make what it is on the road what it is always. So you find systems in the camper to give each other space. If I sense that she's feeling a little stifled, I'll go for a walk and I'll go talk to other people, or I'll just go explore, jump on the bike and ride around. And she does the same thing. You know, she'll go outside and sit at the picnic table, or say I'm going to go for a hike or a bike ride. And you just get really good at kind of picking up on each other's signals so that you don't stifle the other person. Because our rig is 29 feet 9 inches, and that's not very big. But when you add in the outside space, that adds a lot to it. So it can really make a difference in how you get along with your spouse.
So my last confession is, I really want a dog. Everybody out here has dogs and they're just so cute. And I mean, how nice would it be to have a little fluffy dog with you in your home, in your RV home? I think it would be awesome. And I know Dave thinks so too, but gosh, it's just, how do you leave your dog in the camper all day and not worry that the dog is going to get too hot, or, you know, something's going to happen to the dog? So I know there are temperature monitoring systems out there so that people can keep track of how hot it gets in the camper. And I know that there are also things like a nanny cam, you know, or like where you can watch your pet that's in your camper. So you can do things like that. I don't know. The other thing is, I've cared for people my whole life. I had kids and they're grown now, and I kind of don't want to have to do that, but I really want a dog. I really want a dog. It's a conundrum. I don't know what to do. I'm sure one day we'll get a dog. I just don't know when that'll be, but boy, it'd be fun to have a dog.
Do I have any regrets about being on the road full time? No, I don't have one. I love it. I love every single day of it. I love waking up in the morning, being excited for the morning. I'll get up in the middle of the night and I'll look at the clock and I'll be disappointed if it's not close enough to morning. Whereas before, I would wake up in the middle of the night and think, oh, I only have 2 more hours to sleep and then I have to be up. Being on the road is, every day is just, I can't wait to start the new day. I can't say that would be the same for everyone. I know Jacqueline feels that way. We've talked about it. But when you sink into what you really love, and that saying, if you do what you love, you'll never work another day in your life, there's a lot of truth to that. And we do work on the road. Jacqueline's on calls nearly every day. I'm editing, shooting. Soon, hopefully, I'll be booking shows. We work, and I have to work. If I were out here not working, I would probably go crazy. Because I like that purpose. I like to get up in the morning. I'm not one to just sit out and sit in the lawn chair and stare at the desert. I couldn't do that. I would maybe last a day and a half, and then I would probably be sweeping the desert floor just for something to do. So yeah, I wouldn't trade this life for anything. And I would say to people, plan it out. Think about it, watch videos, not just ours, of course, but watch the videos out there and see what other people are doing, and then get out there and do it. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another episode of the Border Hookups Go Rving, and please remember to subscribe and to ding that bell so that we can let you all know as to when we have more episodes coming out.
Yeah, and if you liked what you saw in this episode, please give us that thumbs up and place a comment below so we know what you're thinking. We hope to see you out there.
And we'll see you out there.